Peace and blessings. Doing a little bit of study. Looking up People's Law, Ruler's Law, Magna Carta, Evolution of Parliamentary Power, Parliamentary Supremacy, all in the timeline. Chart and reach the timeline of rights. Read along the bottom line for the dates certain laws were in effect. Read upwards to the next block when each change took place and by who enforced those rights and laws. The American colonies gained independence by force of arms and asserted their rights for the entire world by the Treaty of Peace in Paris, France, after the Revolution, by writing Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation were replaced by a completely new system of people's law under a written constitution. And as you see, they took it back to the Bible. People's law. People's law gave way to ruler's law. Freedom and natural rights were lost when England was conquered by the Normans in 1066 AD. It became subject to ruler's law. But first, let's look up these words in Black's law. Find it first. Black's law 4. And let's look up the word law. We're going to look up just the word law itself. And it's a long definition. Blow that up so you can see it. Law. Law. That which is laid down, ordained, or established. A rule or method according to which phenomena or actions coexist or follow each other. That which must be obeyed and followed by citizens, subject to sanctions or legal consequences, is a law. That's in Koenig versus Flynn, 258 New York, 292, 179, NE 705. And we'll get into citations later on. In Old English jurisprudence, law is used to signify an oath or the privilege of being sworn, as in the phrase to wage one's law or, quote, to lose one's law. The term is also used in opposition to fact. Thus, questions of law are to be decided by the court, while it is the province of the jury to solve questions of fact. Thus, questions of law are to be decided by court, while it is the province of the jury to solve questions of fact. The earliest notion of law was not an enumeration of a principle, but a judgment in a particular case. When pronounced in the early ages by a king, it was assumed to be the result of direct divine inspiration. The result of direct divine inspiration. Afterwards came the notion of a custom, which a judgment affirms or punishes its breach. In the outset, however, the only authoritative statement of right and wrong is a judicial sentence rendered after the fact has occurred. It does not presuppose in law to have been violated, but is enacted for the first time by a higher form into the judge's mind at the moment of adjudication. The word may mean or embrace act of the legislature, deposited in office of Secretary of State, properly authenticated by presiding officers of the two houses and approved by governor. State X-Rail, Martin 233. Body of principles, standards, and rules promulgated by government. Obliges a person or persons and obliges generally to acts or forbearances of a class, constitutional provisions, county ordinance, distinct and complete act of positive law, doctrine or procedure of the common law from which equity is a departure, enrolled bill tested by presiding officers of two branches of General Assembly. Oh Lord, gotta pause it. This is what I do, Ace. On that whiskey.
They say we don't, we got them slang bang quotes. We into the average daily tracking the dope. When we on squad strong, you can pop that shit. Get pressed up and messed up, eat it in y'all shit. I was standing in the crowd like I paid my money for this. Think about it, I paid my money for this. I'm an addict, but you're not the right drug. Reggie Miller on permanent retired status. Even if I put niggas in a chlorine vat and call it a dead pool, the mainstream is a dead pool. Right, it's a picture. What I spit, scripture. When you see me think last rights, that serious. You jokers that wild, you about to be tamed. You the it for the time, reference your frame. Y'all niggas killing it, not even a little bit. Y'all niggas killing shit, not even a little bit. Drop so hard, put your mind on pause. Beat drop so hard, got you balling your face up. I stare in your face like this death trap got you. Holla VA, then mock you. Soon you won't suffer in tune, then you buffered. If not, sorry sucker, love you, but gotta cut you. This mic cord around your throat is not a hoax. And that is my official quote, D.O.
Alright, so we'll use that. Distinct and complete act of positive law, doctrine or procedure of the common law from which equity is a departure. from which equity is a departure. Doctrine or procedure of the common law, from which equity is a departure. Enrolled bill attested by presiding officers of two branches of General Assembly. Executive order concerning alienation of Indians' land, where it says general rule of human action, taking cognizance only of external acts enforced by a determinate authority, which authority is human, and among human authorities is that which is paramount in a political society. Governmental direction, grant by legislature. By the case law to describe what law is. Judicial decisions, judgments, or decrees. Law of the state. Legislation by initiative method. Local rules of decision. Long established local custom which has the force of law. Municipal ordinance. Prescribed rules of action or conduct. So as you can see, there's a lot, but here's the gist. And if we look down here, we see that there are all kinds of laws. That's all case law dealing with that. A concurrent or joint resolution of legislature is not a law. A concurrent or joint resolution of legislature is not a law. A resolution of the House of Representatives is not a law. An unconstitutional statute is not a law. They tell you what laws are not. When a statute is passed in violation of law, that is, of the fundamental law or constitution of a state, it is the prerogative of the courts to declare it void, or, in other words, to declare it not to be law. When the term law is used to denote enactments of the legislative power, it is frequently confined, especially by English writers, to permanent rules of civil conduct, as distinguished from other acts, such as a Divorce Act, an Appropriation Bill, and Estates Act. And we're going to get into estates too. With reference to its origin, law is derived either from judicial precedents, from legislation, or from custom. Now, different kinds of law. As to the different kinds of law, or law regarding, but as to the different kinds of law, or law regarded in its different aspects, see absolute law, adjective law, administrative law, admiralty, arms, law of bank, law of arms, admiralty, bankrupt law, canon law, case law, citations, law of citations, civil law, commercial. See how that's written? Citations, law of. That syntax, correct syntax. We can get into that too. Baby, makes me wanna say, shaka shaka. Common law, constitutional law, criminal, custom, ecclesiastical law, enabling statute, equity, evidence, law of evidence, law of flag, foreign laws, forest law, international law, local law, maritime law, law of mark, martial law, mercantile law, military law, moral law, municipal law, natural law, Oleron, or laws of Oleron, which I have, organic law, parliamentary law, penal laws, personal law, positive law, private law, probate, prospective law, public law, remedial statute, retrospective law, revenue law, law of road, Roman law, special law, law of staple, statute, substantive law, unwritten law, war. Never knew that. War's law, Wisby, or laws of Wisby, written law. For facts and law as distinguishable, see fact. Facts and law as distinguishable. All agents are solicitors practicing in the Scotch courts. You see all these different laws. What we saw down here, law of the land. They got maxims, law favoreth honor and order. Law favoreth justice and right. Law favoreth life, liberty, and dower. These are maxims. The law favoreth charity. Law favoreth common right. Law favoreth diligence, and therefore hateth folly and negligence. Law favoreth honor and order. Law favoreth justice and right. Law favoreth life, liberty, and dower. Law favoreth mutual recompense. Law favoreth possession where the right is equal. Law favoreth public quiet. Law favoreth public commerce. Law favoreth speeding of men's causes. Law favoreth things for the commonwealth. Law favoreth truth, faith, and certainty. Those are all maxims about law. You should learn maxims. You know I gotta learn maxims because I'm here with maxim. Law hateth delays. Law hateth new inventions and innovations. Law hateth wrong. So those are maxims of law. See, law of nations is international law. Let's go to law of the land now. In my bag. So, law of the land, see law of flag. No, law of the flag. Alright, so look, law of the land is due process of law. By the law of the land is most clearly intended the general law which hears before it, condemns, which proceeds upon inquiry, and renders judgment only after trial. The law of the land is due process of law. By the law of the land is most clearly intended the general law which hears before it, condemns, which proceeds upon inquiry, and renders judgment only after trial. The meaning is that every citizen shall hold his life, liberty, property, and immunities under the protection of general rules which govern society. So the meaning is that every citizen shall hold his life, liberty, property, and immunities under the protection of general rules which govern society, like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's the law of the land. Everything which may pass under the form of an enactment is not the law of the land. When first used in Magna Carta, the phrase probably meant, the established law of the kingdom in opposition to the civil or Roman law. It is now generally regarded as meaning general public laws binding on all members of the community or common unity. It means due process of law warranted by the Constitution, by the common law adopted by the Constitution, or by statutes passed in pursuance of the Constitution. So that's the law of the land. What are lawful authorities? Lawful authorities is the expression lawful authorities is used in our treaty with Spain. Or should I say the expression lawful authorities used in our treaty with Spain refers to persons who exercise the power of making grants by authority of the crown. You got lawful age. What's the lawful age? Full age. Majority. See? You keep saying maturity, it's majority. Generally, the age of 21 years through, though sometimes 18 as to a female. It's full age, the age of majority. So, you can get you a Black's Law, and you can look at all the different things about law. But we wanted to look up law. But since we're talking about people's law, we also want to look up the definition of people. So what we got for people? People. What is people? People. A state, as the people of the state of New York. A nation in its collective and political capacity. So we the people. The nation is collective and political capacity. The aggregate or mass of the individuals who constitute the state. The aggregate or mass of the individuals who constitute the state. In a more restricted sense, and as generally used in constitutional law, the entire body of those citizens of a state or nation who are invested with political power for political purposes. That is, the qualified voters or electors. That is, the qualified voters or electors. They're just incurring the state debts. I'm gonna have to look that up. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can find that in the Google Scholar. See if we can find this. Copied that, right? Stuff be acting strange. It was cited by 25. Some related articles. This document is entitled, "This court has held that the term people, as used in the Constitution, is broad and comprehensive, comprising in most instances all the inhabitants of the state." I was cited in Mosby v. Devine, 2004, FEMA of Rhode Island held that the word people, as used in the Constitution, specifically Article 4, Section 13, included registered voters and not just taxpayers. So that's a good site to check out too, Google Scholar. We'll get back to that later. We got a lot going on as we go through the fire to the limit. neutrality laws, a government recognized by the United States. Those are also the people, the three friends.
I'm too fly
The
like a
word
pair of
people
doves.
may
My ears are
have
plugged to the
various
hate, 'cause nothing
significations
compared to love. I air the slug
according
through
to
the
the
back
connection
windshield,
in which it is
when it hits,
used.
I'm pulling over to
When we
hop out
speak
of my
of the
shit.
rights of the people,
In the pouring
or
rain,
of the
Lawrence going
government
insane,
of the
drag him
people
out
by
the
law,
front seat and beat him
or
with a
of the
sword and
people
cane.
as a
I'm more deranged,
non-political
adore the name
aggregate,
crazy. They
we
call me
mean
that
all
'cause
the
I'm hurt, but I
inhabitants of
don't
the
have
state
any
or
source of
nation,
pain. I'm
without
packing a
distinction
shoot,
as to
tactical
sex,
shit strapped in
age,
my
or
jacket and
otherwise.
suit with a fully automatic
But when
to
reference
boot.
is
I'm
made
after
to the
loot
people
and anything
as the
valuable.
repository of sovereignty,
You know how Hallie you do.
or as the source
So
of
rally my
government,
crew, tally 'em up, roll a fatty or two, grab a ratchet and clap it at you. I'm too fly like a pair of doves. My ears are plugged to the hate, 'cause it's nothing compared to love. I air the slug through the back windshield to your whip, and when it hits, I'm pulling over to hop out of my shit. In the pouring rain, Lawrence going insane, drag him out the front seat and beat him with a sword and cane. I'm more deranged, adore the name crazy. They call me that 'cause I'm hurt, but I don't have any source of pain. I'm packing a shoot, tactical shit strapped in my jacket and suit with a fully automatic to boot. I'm after the loot and anything valuable. The fish is
remember
buried.
who made
You
this? I know
how
who made the
Hallie
beat
do.
though.
So rally my
Man,
crew,
Big Butter.
tally 'em up, roll a fatty or two, grab a ratchet and clap it at you.
So the word people may have various significations according to the connection in which it is used. When we speak of the rights of the people, or of the government of the people by law, or the people as a non-political aggregate, we mean all the inhabitants of the state or nation, without distinction as to the sex. Otherwise, but when reference is made to the people as the repository of sovereignty, or as the source of governmental power, or to popular government, we are in fact speaking of that selected and limited class of citizens to whom the Constitution accords the elective franchise and the right of participation in the offices of government. So that's the people. So let's go back. So we have people's law, right? And we saw who the peoples were, and we saw what law is. What are rulers? And not rulers like you measure. So we got rules. But we don't want rules. We don't want rules. Come to rules later. You want ruler. Is ruler even in here? So we got rule, we got rules, ruler. So we don't even have ruler in here. So we're gonna have to derive what ruler is from what a rule is. To get into that too, because that's dealing with intellectual property, royalties, But let's go back to rule. What is a rule? A rule is a noun, an established standard, guide, or regulation. A principle or regulation set up by authority, prescribing or directing action or forbearance, as the rules of a legislative body, of a company, court, public office, of the law, of ethics. A regulation made by a court of injustice, or a regulation made by a court of justice or public office with reference to the conduct of business therein. An order made by a court at the instance of one of the parties to a suit, commanding a ministerial officer or the opposite party to do some act, or to show cause why some act should not be done. It is usually upon some interlocutory matter, and has not the force or solemnity of a decree or judgment. Start seeing the words like interlocutory. Gotta look those words up. You can't just gloss over them, because when you gloss over them, that'll be how you miss the information that you needed to get. So I'm gonna look up the etymology of interlocutory. Locutus or more locutory. Interlocutory. Interrupt. Interlocutorious. Interlocutor. From medieval Latin, interlocutorious, from Latin interloquy, interrupt. Interlocutor, one who speaks in a dialogue or conversation. Agent, noun, from Latin interlocute, past participle stem of interloquy, speak, as in loquial, like loquial. See?
It's not really difficult to imagine how it happened. I mean, no one knows for sure when
So to speak between, interrupt, from enter, between, see, enter, plus loqui, to speak, from pre-Indo-European rule, topo, to speak, like talk. In minstrel shows, hold on, make it a little bigger so y'all can see it. Hope y'all can see that. Talk. In minstrel shows, the name of a straight man character who was the questioner of the end men, related interlocutory, feminine forms include interlocutress, interlocutrix, interlocutrice. These are feminine endings: tress, trix, tris. So that's what an interlocutor is: one who speaks in a dialogue or conversation, or to speak between. So put it back into perspective. It is usually upon some interlocutory matter, or something that is being spoken about between people, and has not the force or solemnity of a decree or judgment. A rule of law. Thus we speak of the rule against perpetuities, the rule in Shelley's case, etc. So, if those are the rules, but you have to rule as the verb. That's where you would get ruler. Because the rule here is a noun. The rule as a verb is to command or require by a rule of court, as to rule the sheriff, to return the writ, to rule the defendant, to plead, to settle or decide a point of law arising upon a trial at nisi priest. And when it is said of a judge presiding at such a trial that he ruled so and so, it is meant that he laid down, settled, or decided such and such to be the law. So that's what a ruler would be, describing the verb. Verb ruler. So So you see what the ruler's law is. So they went from people's law to ruler's law. And they went from the law amongst themselves to the laws of the conquerors or the rulers, the ones who came to rule over them. After that, you got the great struggle to restore freedom began with King John signing the Magna Carta, which is a charter, a carta that guaranteed the people have unalienable rights. The king must also obey the law that was in the Magna Carta. Then we got the evolution of parliamentary power. Power developed principle of no taxation without representation, all laws by consent of parliament, ability to impeach king's officers. So this is going on 1265 and 1721. We got parliamentary supremacy. Parliament chose a prime minister who adopted a cabinet and selected all chief administrative officials within the king or with the king's consent. Thus, the British established a republic structured on parliamentary supremacy. It's another word we don't really look at because they say that this is a republic. What is a republic? Let's go to Black's Law again. We're already in the R's, so we can get there real quick. Oh. Rogatio. That's dealing with rogatory and asking for a law. A proposal of a law for adoption or passage. Alright. Derivatively, a law passed by such form. Rogatio. Rogatory. See? Rogatory. The proposer of a law or rogation. That's the rogatory. Rogatory letters are a commission from one judge to another requesting him to examine a witness. So let's Republic is what we're looking for. Cannabinoids. republic. A republic is a commonwealth, that form of government in which the administration of affairs is open to all the citizens. In another sense, it signifies the state independently of its form of government. A commonwealth, that form of government in which the administration of affairs is open to all the citizens. In a republic, the administration of affairs is open to all the citizens. In another sense, it signifies the state independently of its form of government. So, whether the state is a democratic state, doesn't matter. It's still a republic.
You can have a noise.
What is a republican government then? A republican government is a government in the republican form. A government of the people. A government by representatives chosen by the people. So, having said that, we see what a republic is. What is a democracy?
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my
Erica Badu and the cannabinoids. Here we go. First of all, democracy, that form of government in which the sovereign power resides in and is exercised by the whole body of free citizens, as distinguished from a monarchy, aristocracy, or oligarchy. According to the theory of a pure democracy, every citizen should participate directly in the business of governing, and the legislative assembly should comprise the whole people. But the ultimate lodgment of the sovereignty being the distinguishing feature, the introduction of the representative system does not remove a government from this type. However, a government of the latter kind is sometimes specifically described as a representative democracy. Town form of government constitutes pure democracy, as distinguished from representative government. The town form of government constitutes pure democracy. Democracy is loosely used of governments in which the sovereign powers are exercised by all the people, or a large number of them, or specifically in modern use of a representative government where there is equality of rights without hereditary or arbitrary differences in rank or privilege, and is distinguished from aristocracy. You got that crazy shit right there. You got the democracy and you got the aristocracy. That shit's crazy. In modern representative democracies, as the United States and France, through the governing body, that is the electorate, is a minority of the total population. That's why Democrats always going for that minority shit. The principle of which the government is based is popular sovereignty, which distinguishes them from aristocracies. And you got democratic, of or pertaining to democracy, of course, or to a political party called democratic. Particularly in the United States, the Democratic Party was succeeded the Anti-Federalist or Republican Party. Came after succession. The Democratic Party which succeeded the Anti-Federalist or Republican Party. So you've seen democracy and republic. Democrat. So Parliament chose the Prime Minister who adopted the cabinet. That's parliamentary supremacy. It's a republic structured on parliamentary supremacy, the Articles of Confederation, and state supremacy. So the Articles of Confederation were adopted, providing for individual state supremacy and a committee of the states functioning as a national Congress. Then we got to the constitutional supremacy. The American founders,
Welcome to the
the American founders, the ones who found this shit. It was already here, but they found it, established a new kind of republic based on a system of constitutional supremacy. All right, that was the graph. So, history of the law structure in America from Genesis to present time. So I'm gonna pause it right here, and we'll come back, and we'll pick up at the history of the law structure in America from Genesis to present time. I hope the information was helpful, gave you some places to look. I have all these documents on PDF. You can shoot me an email or hit me up in the comments, and I can get you this freedom course, or you can go to the good people over at Satcom in their PDF section, and they got it there. So that said, peace and blessings, and we'll pick up, like I said, at the history of the law structure in America from Genesis to present time.